What am I excited for? Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. Being developed by Team Reptile, this looks to be a spiritual successor to Jet Set Radio with just as much funk. As someone who loved playing Jet Set Radio and Future, I can't help but get giddy over what's been shown so far. While no release date's been announced, I am eagerly awaiting for the chance to dive into this world. Will you add it to your wishlist? Cult of the Lamb. Being developed by Massive Monster, this looks to be a mix of a survival city builder and a dungeon crawler. Both the gameplay loop and the art direction look amazing with a perfect balance of cute and creepy. I can't wait to see what this game feels like to play and to be able to shepherd my own flock. Will you add it to your wishlist? Haunted Chocolatier. Being developed by Concerned Ape, this looks like a dungeon crawler where you gather materials to make chocolate to sell to ghosts. Now I'm a big fan of Concerned Ape, and anything that he released would make me ecstatic. But luckily this game looks interesting in its own right, and I can't wait to learn more. Will you add it to your wishlist? Icarus. Being developed by Rocketworks, this looks to be a survival game focused around living in dangerous environments just long enough to complete missions. This game looks beautiful, and I love that it has 8-player PvE compared to the standard 4 most session-based games have. With it so close to release date, I guess we'll see how well it ends up turning out. Will you add it to your wishlist? The Gecko Gods. Being developed by Lewis Wallachek, this looks to be a 3D puzzle game where you play as a little gecko. As a lover of 3D puzzle games, this looks right up my alley, and it looks like they add some very interesting twists. I really want to see what type of puzzles can be created with the ability to climb on walls. Will you add it to your wishlist? Ultra Strangeness. Being developed by Michael Riffshire, this looks to be a surrealist claymation point-and-click adventure. This game looks horrifying in a beautiful way, and it fills me with the curiosity to learn more. But for now, we must wait, as molding clay is a time-consuming feat. Will you add it to your wishlist? The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. Being developed by Crows, this looks to be an expanded version of the Stanley Parable with new endings and is finally coming to consoles. I have been waiting for this game ever since it was announced back in 2018 because of how much I loved the original version. After so many delays, maybe we'll finally get to experience it soon. Will you add it to your wishlist? Snacko. Being developed by Blue Curse Studios, this looks to be a farming sim / city builder where you get to play as kittens. Now I'm a sucker for farming sims, and this game looks absolutely adorable. With constant progress updates from the devs, hopefully we'll get a release date soon. Will you add it to your wishlist? Deltarune. Being developed by Toby Fox, this looks to be a bullet hell RPG about traveling to different and strange worlds. I'll be honest, Toby Fox is one of my favorite developers, so of course this is on my radar, and I love what I've seen so far. The first 2 chapters are available now for free if you want to get a feel for the game. Will you add it to your wishlist? Breaking the Fourth Wall. Being developed by 11 Sheep, this looks to be a point-and-click adventure about a boy trying to break out of his comic book world. I love games that understand that they're games and use that to their advantage, so I really want to see how they execute this here. With an interesting art style and compelling premise, all we can do is wait. Will you add it to your wishlist? Wizard with a Gun. Being developed by Galvanic Games, this looks to be a multiplayer survival game where you play as a cowboy wizard trying to survive. Everything about this game just fills me with intrigue, from the amazing art design to the fun-looking gameplay loop. With a 2022 release date planned, it adds just one more thing to look forward to this year. Will you add it to your wishlist? Slime Rancher 2. Being developed by Monami Park, this looks to be a direct sequel to the original Slime Rancher with new slimes and a new world to explore. I loved the original Slime Rancher, and I'm really interested in all that has been shown to us already. I can't wait to see what all has been added to this new adventure. Will you add it to your wishlist? You Suck at Parking. Being developed by Happy Volcano, this looks to be a parkour game about drifting cars into different parking spots. I really like games that offer fun movement options, and this looks to have just that in a pretty unique way. There's a demo available right now if you want to get a feel for the game yourself. Will you add it to your wishlist? Echostasis. Being developed by Enigma Studio, this looks to be a psychedelic first-person shooter in a digital reality called Echoes. I like to keep an eye out for different surreal and abstract experiences, and this seems to fit that perfectly. With the demo available, you can get an early taste of this new reality. Will you add it to your wishlist? Frog Song. Being developed by Brandon Braun, this looks to be an RPG where you play as a small frog trying to become a great warrior. Everything about this game looks absolutely adorable, and the gameplay loop looks really enjoyable as well. I'm really interested to see what the final experience looks like. Will you add it to your wishlist? A little to the left. Being developed by Max Inferno, this looks to be a puzzle game about organizing different household items. Both the design and premise look really relaxing, and something that I think could become a really good comfy game. With a summer release date planned, I can't wait to add another cute puzzle game to the collection. Will you add it to your wishlist? Little Gator Game. Being developed by Mega Wobble, this looks to be an open world adventure about a young gator making friends and exploring the island. I have a soft spot for all cute games, and from what's been shown so far, it also looks like a lot of fun to move around. With the demo available, you should try it for yourself before it's fully out. Will you add it to your wishlist? Stray. Being developed by Blue 12 Studio, this looks to be an exploration game where you play as a cat in a cyberpunk city. The ambiance this game has is amazing and creates a world I really want to learn more about. For now, all we can do is wait for the chance to become a cat. Will you add it to your wishlist? Have a Nice Death. Being developed by Magic Design Studios, this looks to be an action roguelike where you play as Death trying to put your subordinates in check. I love games that have a Grim Reaper aesthetic, and I'm always looking for interesting roguelikes to dive into. With it entering early access soon, we'll get to see how the gameplay loop feels in no time. Will you add it to your wishlist? Tentacular. Being developed by Fire Punched Games, this looks to be a physics-based VR puzzle game where you play as a giant octopus monster. I've been looking to grow my collection of VR games, and I love the type of silliness this looks to bring. With the release date coming soon, you'll be able to get your monster on. Will you add it to your wishlist? Pain Party. Being developed by Ice Helm, this looks to be an obstacle course purgatory where you have to survive the insanity that's thrown at you. I really like game show type games, and this looks to be an interesting mix of fun and frustrating. If you think you're up to the test, the demo is available now. Will you add it to your wishlist? Paradise Marsh. Being developed by Lazy Etty, this looks to be a game where you travel around a marsh catching animals and finding fallen stars. I love how relaxing this game looks, and I can't wait to be able to explore the beautiful wetlands. Will you add it to your wishlist? Capybara Spa. Being developed by Cozy Beat Games, this looks to be a shopkeeping game where you transform a hillside into a paradise for capybara. Cute animals getting to enjoy a spa day is an adorable concept, and this looks to be a great addition to the collection. Will you add it to your wishlist? Faith, the Unholy Trinity. Being developed by Airdorf, this looks to be a collection of Atari-inspired horror games about a failed exorcism. I really liked playing the first 2 games in the Faith trilogy, and I'm really happy the series will be able to reach a wider audience now. Will you add it to your wishlist? Definitely not fried chicken. Being developed by Dope Games, this looks to be a tycoon simulator about growing both your front ventures and back-end drug operations. I like this interesting twist on your standard business game, and I want to see what all you can do. Will you add it to your wishlist? Signalis. Being developed by Rose Engine, this looks to be a survival horror game where you explore a decrepit labor camp in search of your crew. Everything that's been shown so far looks horrifying and beautiful, and I'm interested to see what all this world holds. Will you add it to your wishlist? Lumberjack. Being developed by Final Boss Games, this looks to be a puzzle game about cutting through evil machinery to restore the nature of the land. It looks really satisfying to swing that axe around, and I want to see what type of puzzles are used. Will you add it to your wishlist? Frog Detective 3, Corruption at Cowboy County. Being developed by Grace Bruxner and Thomas Boker, this looks to be the final chapter of the Frog Detective series where you're solving a case with Lobster Cop. I really enjoyed playing the first 2 games in this series, and I can't wait to learn how it finally ends. Will you add it to your wishlist? Oddventure. Being developed by Infamous Rabbit, this looks to be a turn-based RPG about a teenage girl trying to find her brother in a fairy tale world. Everything that's been shown so far really piques my interest, and I want to see what all this story holds. Will you add it to your wishlist? Harold Halibut. Being developed by Slow Bros, this looks to be a narrative-driven game about a crash-landed generation ship on an alien planet. The art direction is beautiful, and the premise is very compelling. I really want to learn what this story holds. Will you add it to your wishlist? Disharmonia. Being developed by Daniel Seaman, this looks to be a first-person puzzle game about exploring many different realities. I really like games that create non-Euclidean environments, and I want to see how this can break my mind. Will you add it to your wishlist? The Wandering Village. Being developed by Stray Fawn Studio, this looks to be a city builder about a village trying to escape a plague caused by toxic spores. I love how this game looks so far, and I'm interested to see how it feels to develop a city in-game. Will you add it to your wishlist? Mail Time. Being developed by Kayla Vanderdiesel, this looks to be an exploration platformer about delivering mail in a woodland village. I love how cute this looks, and I'm interested to see how it feels to move around in this strange new world. Will you add it to your wishlist? Nor. Play with your food. Being developed by Terrifying Jellyfish, this looks to be an interactive music experience where you can mash up beats and dishes. I love how beautiful this looks and how well the visuals and music work together. Will you add it to your wishlist? Lord Winklebottom Investigates. Being developed by Cave Monsters, this looks to be an investigative point-and-click adventure about a giraffe detective and his hippo partner. With a humorous theme and an intriguing story, I'm interested to see how this plays out. Will you add it to your wishlist? Birth. Being developed by Madison Card, this looks to be a surrealist puzzle game about collecting body parts to build a new creature. I'm very interested in this mix of beautiful art and creepy themes, and I want to see what type of puzzles there are. Will you add it to your wishlist? Cultic. Being developed by JSaw's Games, this looks to be a gory first-person shooter where you go around fighting off a cult. I really like the retro aesthetic, as well as it looks really satisfying to mow down enemies. Will you add it to your wishlist? Another Crab's Treasure. Being developed by Aggro Crab, this looks to be a Souls-like adventure about a crab trying to reclaim his shell. I really like the mix of stylized visuals and snappy-looking combat, and I can't wait to see what all is in store. Will you add it to your wishlist? The Plucky Squire. Being developed by All Possible Features, this looks to be an adventure game where you travel between a 2D storybook and a 3D bedroom. I love how this bridges the gap between game styles, and I really want to see what all there is to explore. Will you add it to your wishlist? Frogun. Being developed by Mogato, this looks to be a PS1 style platform about Renata and her frog grappling hook companion. Everything that's been shown so far looks to be a nice return to the classics with an interesting twist. Will you add it to your wishlist?
Hamon Frog Island. Being developed by Half Past Yellow, this looks to be an exploration adventure game about trying to repair your ship by helping people on the island. I love how cute this game looks, and it looks like a fun world to be able to explore. We got it to your wish list?